All right. Well, now that, it's officially out there and, we've talked since you've officially been retired, but now that, more people are seeing it on Facebook and kind of just talk to me about your decision to retire and now what you're going to be doing moving forward.
It's a great day to talk to Sean Boston and all the good people of Hutchinson. It's just that time when it's right to spend some more time with the family and the grandkids and continue to call at least the Blue Dragon home basketball games with my good friend Sean Boston.
It's been, over 20 years at Hutchinson Community College, and walk me back when you first got hired at HutchCC and kind of talk to me about that.
Well, thank you for asking. My dad was a college professor at Emporia State, and he had always told me when I finished college he was going to retire, and it just so happened my last year in college he suffered a stroke and he was not able to teach anymore. So the dean of the School of Business at Emporia State came to me and said, Nacarrato is an unusual name. We already have it printed on the course schedules. How would you feel about teaching the classes that your dad was scheduled to teach for the next year? And if you'll do that, we'll let you get a master's degree from us without any charge at all. So I kind of jumped all over that, even though I was working about 35 hours a week at the local Dillon store in Emporia and taking classes. So I just didn't sleep very much for a while, but I really enjoyed teaching. So I stayed with Dillon's and Kroger for 25 years, but in the back of my mind, I always wanted to teach and coach and follow in my dad's footsteps. And in 2004, I just happened to notice a posting for a business teacher at Hutchinson Community College, and I thought, this is a sign from God that it's time for me to make a change before it's too late. So I got the job at Hutchinson Community College, and every day seemed like a holiday ever since.
Yeah, so business, is that something you'd always been intrigued by, or did your kind of background with Dillon's and Kroger kind of help lead you into that business side?
It really did, and for the last 14 years or 13 years at Dillon's, I was the Director of Human Resources, and a big part of that job is helping people develop. So it was, instead of doing things more on a one-on-one basis, I moved to the classroom and got to do it in groups. And the Blue Dragon students, faculty, administration staff have always been tremendous. It was a lot of fun.
What does it mean to you that, you've touched so many different lives over your 20-plus years at Hutchinson Community College, whether, it be in your classroom or even outside your classroom as well, because everybody knows Coach Knack?
Well, you're very kind, Sean. I really feel like I learned more from the students than they learned from me. It's a great opportunity to meet a lot of good people, and I've always felt like the best way to learn something is to coach it or teach it. So the longer I taught, the more I got to learn. So it was a great experience of growth, and it's fun to see people around town. People always ask me, are you planning to move to Kansas City, because we have son and daughter-in-law and 2 grandsons and a granddaughter there. And I said, well, I kind of like seeing people that I am familiar with, and I'm a little bit of a homebody anyway, so why would I ever want to leave the center of the garden spot of the universe, Hutchinson, Kansas, USA, Earth, Milky Way?
That leads me to my next question. Where did you come up with that phrase, and how long has it kind of been your staple?
Well, the honest truth is I've watched Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid probably a dozen times, and I always really liked that movie. And when Butch and Sundance go to Bolivia, it's not what they expected. It's not very nice. It's a rugged type country, a very poor country, and they're in a bad spot. And Butch says to Sundance, well, we haven't seen the rest of the country. Maybe it's a lot nicer elsewhere than where we're at right now. And Sundance replied something to the effect of, for all we know, this is the garden spot of Bolivia. And that just always stuck in the back of my head.
That's awesome. And then, everybody also, again, knows you as Coach Knack. So I know you used to coach football and all that. So is that kind of where that came about, or talk to me about that?
It really started coaching youth sports for the YMCA and Hutch Rec and Little League Baseball and things like that. But I think where it really came from was coaching Tom Riley and Dave Hayden's sons. They always called me Coach Knack, and Dave and Tom always called that, and it just kind of stuck. And then later on, when I made the change from Dillon's to go accept a teaching position at Hutch Community College, it gave me the flexibility to also coach high school football and middle school basketball and American Legion baseball, and it just kind of carried over to that. And it's just a little easier to say than Nacarrato. That's
awesome. Let's see. Okay, so now that you're officially retired, is there maybe some stories or things that stick out about your time there at Hutchinson Community College as a professor? Is there anything that sticks out that maybe you've looked back and reflected on here in the last couple of weeks when you look back at your time?
I'm not a very sentimental type person when it comes to looking backwards. I kind of like to live in the present. But there have been many, many memories of fantastic people that have come through, people that went on to start their own businesses successfully, people that went on to play sports at the Division I level and then became professionals, colleagues that have done tremendous things. So I'm not one to reflect back very much, but I'm very thankful for all of the people that I've been able to meet through the years here in Hutchinson.
All right, you kind of touched on it, but talk a little bit about what's ahead. What is, you're going to get a little bit more sleep, I'm guessing, but what does life look like for you now moving forward?
It does sound, there's a lot of charm to get up when I want to get up and not set the alarm anymore, but we're on Christmas break now. I guess I'm permanently on holiday break now. But still trying to wrap my brain around that a little bit, but I'm still waking up about 5:30 or 6 in the morning. And I haven't quite figured out how to let it sink in that, hey, get up when you want to get up.
What are you going to miss most about, working at Hutchinson Community College each and every day?
It's really gratifying to help people be successful, to help them get to where they want to go. And I'm going to miss making an effort to help people achieve whatever it is that they want to achieve. I'm going to miss that. And I'll probably miss that forever, but hopefully I'll find a few ways to help some people along the way in an unofficial capacity.
Yeah. What has it been like? Again, I know HutchCC posted on their Facebook page yesterday and all that. So I'm guessing you've seen all the outpouring of support, from maybe some, former students and things like that, from all over the country and all over the world.
That really caught me by surprise. I was not expecting that at all. And it certainly did choke me up a little bit when I would see comments from people that I see every day still, and then other people that maybe I haven't been in contact with for quite a number of years. And I really appreciate Denny Steckline's a fantastic friend. I think he dug up some pictures and composed a very, very nice little blurb there that he put on Facebook. And then I was surprised to see Hutch Post and Mark Jacobs pick it up, and now Sean Boston at the radio station even. So it's way beyond anything I would have ever expected.
Yeah, I also learned you had quite the mustache back in the day.
I never had a full beard. Every now and then for a couple of months I'd go with a goatee. But I had a mustache on and off for quite a number of years, mainly just because it saved a little bit of time shaving in the morning.
There you go. Awesome. Coach Knack, thank you so much for taking some time this morning, and again, enjoy the time with your family, and Merry Christmas. We'll see you, January 7th, I think?
See you at the sports arena. We'll be back in action with Blue Dragon basketball, and please pass on my appreciation to Glenn Grunwald and Darren and Matt and everybody at the station. Max, what a good crew. Rob.
You bet.
You, John. I'll spend my mornings listening to Phone Forum on Wednesdays now for the foreseeable future.
There you go. Awesome. Thanks so much, Coach Knack. Appreciate it.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Bye.
Goodbye.